Hey, I wanted to go over the risks and opportunities right now in the blockchain world. I think that given the development of this technology and how closely it's correlated with risk measurements and accounting finance function, I know that a lot of you already are, pretty familiar with this and looking at the different articles, but I wanted to actually go over a little bit of in detail on what is going on and basically what's happening here. So, what is the blockchain situation all about? It's basically um, came from Bitcoin, and the idea is that it's a way to record transactions in rather than traditionally, which is always in a database. This is actually on a decentralized basis, so that it goes and gets stored in what is called a public ledger. And this is actually very interesting, I think, because this way you only need one ledger, and most of accounting finance is about keeping records and reconciling them. And this way you wouldn't have to reconcile it because it would already be stored in a way like almost like on the cloud in a public place, obviously secure. And there are smart contracts where you could actually figure these things out. Um, So the whole idea of blockchain, why is it even interesting, is because it can not needing intermediaries or central authorities. So obviously banks are very interested, exchanges are very interested, even for power trading, which actually this report is more about the application for energy, and we'll get into that. Since it's about eliminating intermediaries. There's a thing called prosumers, which is you're a producer and the consumer. In this way, you could actually sell directly to the market, which is being utilized in the music industry. Lower costs, faster processes, greater flexibility. Um, some level of maturity already in the financial service. So in financial services, the Nasdaq already has a system for trading private securities in this. And then there's some other syndicated loan applications already. And for energy right now, it's a proof of concept, but is being tested in many different markets. This is a picture of what's actually going on. Rather than a centralized recording of transactions, providers and customers are exchanging back and forth using the blockchain model. And what is a blockchain? It gets a little bit technical, but this is kind of the idea of what it is. In reality, is a provider and a customer create a transaction. It gets sort of put into a block of all other transactions created at the same time. The block gets stored in a decentralized global network in a tamper-proof manner and thus verified, and then gets attached to all other blocks, so it becomes immutable and certified. The whole data set is immutable and certified. In other words, unchangeable. I've seen these in the Bitcoin application. Every block has a hash, which means it gets encrypted in a specific key, that every block will have a specific key in order to decode, and this makes each block more secure. And that's essentially what it is. This discusses the evolution of blockchain. And then in detail, if you want to go over the detail, this is a great situation here with like the keys and the signs and the hash. And this is the next level to look into if you're interested in a little bit more of the computer tech stuff. Sectors of application, you could see here. We can already see, I know diamonds has already been implemented. They're tracking it to track diamonds. Digital content, I know there's release of digital content from artists directly to film studios. Security trading, I believe Nasdaq already has a piece out there. Many different applications, many different applications, very interesting. Smart contract versus private blockchain. Nasdaq and R3 from Barclays and others are using the private blockchain, and then Ethereum and Bitcoin using the public chain as well. So that's the private is when it's like inside the corporation as all the nodes that are verifying, and the risk is that it could actually, be tempered or manipulated. And the idea with a truly public one like Bitcoin, it's truly democratic, purely decentralized, and purely has no single power source that could temper with the data recording process. So something to think about, and this is sort of the idea of the Nasdaq Link platform, how they do it, how they're using a blockchain to connect investors and startups by updating the recording of private security trading, updating it and reconciling it using the blockchain system. So this is in a very interesting space right now, a very young space, and definitely a lot of evolution going on right now, a lot of innovation. And I'm sure this is all the startups that are currently in the space. Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solarcoin, energy companies are in the mix. Tech firms are in here. LO3 Energy and Consensus created Transactive Grid. That's here in New York. And that's the project is Brooklyn Microgrid. Very interesting. What they're doing is basically a feasibility study on trading of energy. Here it's described right here in New York, where people with solar roofs are selling energy to other consumers in the area by trading energy using blockchain. So I actually saw the app. You can download it, and it's working. It's expanding over Brooklyn now into many different sectors, and it's definitely beyond feasibility right now. I think it's the next stage of expansion right now. So very interesting stuff. I highly recommend you guys looking through this and staying current on this. And there's going to be a lot more developments, and it's good sometimes to know the technical aspects so we can really see how it's applying to the different risks and opportunities right now in accounting and finance.